Financial stress is a shared experience, not a solitary struggle. It is a prevalent issue that can affect anyone regardless of their income or financial standing. Financial stress can manifest itself through anxiety about bills, debt, job security, and more, potentially affecting both one's mental and physical health. However, managing and overcoming this stress is possible with strategic planning and a proactive mindset. With that said, in this video, I will provide valuable guidance on navigating financial stress. Drawing from my personal experiences, having been through financial stress myself, I will share practical tips for addressing financial stress, including how to even know you are financially stressed, how to evaluate your financial situation just to improve your finance well-being. Likewise, I will share how to foster open and honest communication about financial matters with your loved ones. Now, having been through financial stress myself, the aim of this video is just to empower those experiencing this kind of stress by offering my practical insights into effectively managing financial stress, or should I say how I have effectively managed my financial stress. Now, the first and foremost liberating step in managing financial stress is to actually acknowledge its presence, is to acknowledge and accept the fact that you are actually experiencing financial stress. Now, acknowledging the problem can provide profound relief, and it is the first step towards a solution. Ignoring it will only exacerbate it, so by acknowledging it, you are already on the path to overcoming it. Now, identifying the fact that you're going through financial stress and even acknowledging it is not easy. Now, initially, it was difficult to acknowledge that I was experiencing financial stress because on the surface, everything seems fine. We were in the process of buying our first dream house here in the UK. My husband and I were working full-time in jobs that we liked, and we could comfortably pay our bills. So with our basic living expenses covered and we being in jobs that we relatively like, there seemed to be no apparent reason for me to be going through financial stress, right? However, I began to recognize signs of financial stress through subtle behavioral changes. I found myself avoiding financial matters. Now, for the very first time, I started to rely on credit here in the UK. It was a bad time. And I withdrew from social activities just to avoid spending money. Like, I won't go out and see friends and family because I just don't want to spend money. And I was also buying things on credit at the same time. So it didn't make sense. Physically, I noticed that I would not be able to sleep in the night. I was just thinking about money, scrolling through social media, and I was constantly exhausted. Like, the fatigue was not from here. Now, for me, recognizing these early signs was crucial because it prompted me into taking actions before the stress escalated further. So after I began to experience these subtle signs of financial stress, I actually told myself, I think I'm financially stressed. Like, I watched a lot of videos, read a couple of books, blog posts, and then I actually acknowledged that, yes, I was financially stressed. Like, I even spoke to my husband about that. I think I'm stressed financially. And he was like, no, why will you be stressed financially? Like, we are good and we are contented. Like, one thing my husband and I practice is always contentment. Like, whatever we have, we're always contented with it. We can't afford it, we did not kill somebody. But I told him that, I said, for the first time, I'm going to buy unnecessary things on credit. It doesn't make sense. It's out of character for me. And at the same time, I would not want to go because I don't want to spend money. It's out of character. I could not sleep. I was always going to social media aimlessly. I was not productive. Like, I actually told him I'm going through financial stress. So after acknowledging that I was financially stressed, I took a step back to assess our financial situation honestly. Like, me going through our financial situation helped me reflect and identify the root cause of my anxiety and allowed me to develop an effective plan into addressing the reasons why I was financially stressed. Now, the first thing I did when assessing our financial situation was that I went through our finances thoroughly by listing our income, expenses, and liability, including our monthly cost of living, loans, and other financial obligations like black tax and tithe and offering that we used to do. Basically, I did it just to gain a better control over our finances, and I began to track our income and expenditure by creating a detailed budget using Google Sheets. Now, I used to have a budget, but it wasn't really detailed. I didn't used to budget to the minute thing, but now I used to budget to the minute of things. Now, a Google spreadsheet helps me manage our finances more straightforward and transparently because I didn't want a budget that was too technical and a lot of things going on. I just wanted to see how much are we making and how much are we spending. Like, I wanted to see detailed on a spreadsheet, and I did that. Now, through this process, I identified specific areas of concern, which was we had insufficient savings. Like, we not having enough savings was actually the primary reason why I was going through financial stress. So to address this, I established a payday routine that helped me adhere to our budget faithfully. And then I created and maintained a well-structured budget, and I used to stick to my payday routine. And with this step, I was able to reduce my anxiety and, regain control over our financial situation. Now, because I want to keep this video short and sweet, I will not be going into my payday routine because I have a video on the channel detailing my payday routine. I will link it to this video so you can watch it if you want to learn more about how I manage my household income and expenses on payday. So moving on, I set achievable financial goals for significant future expenses so I don't feel overwhelmed when I think about them. So for instance, I prioritize taking immediate steps to achieving my short-term goals, such as setting aside money for our future visas, because very soon we'll be applying for our indefinite leave to remain. And anytime I think about the amounts we will need to pay for our indefinite leave to remain when it's time for us to apply for it, I feel overwhelmed, and this also contributed to my financial stress. So now in our budget, we're setting aside money every month towards applying for our indefinite leave to remain, so that when the time comes, we will not be stranded financially and we will know how to pay for it. And I also prioritize long-term goals, such as planning for bigger objectives like our retirement savings and my son's university fees. Now, I don't want my son to take loan to go to uni. I actually want to be able to pay for his university fees when the time comes. So from now, I'm already saving towards this, where every month I set aside money and I put the money into his junior SIP and his junior ISA. Now, if you want to know more on how I allocate money into my savings, like different savings I have and things like that, go watch that my payday routine video. I talked about it in that video. So because I started saving towards my long and short-term goals, it actually gave me a sense of relief. Like, I wasn't financially stressed like I used to be anytime I think about my long-term goals or my short-term goals. I don't used to be as stressed or as anxious as I used to be. So this little practical step I took just helped me reduce my financial stress. Likewise, setting and working towards financial goals gave me a more profound sense of purpose and control over our finances. Knowing that I'm actively shaping my financial future is actually empowering. Like, there's no feeling than it. And it's a sense of empowerment that keeps me motivated. It makes me feel like I am financially capable of the lifestyle I've chosen. Now, the second thing I started doing after I've identified the root cause of my financial stress was I started taking deliberate steps to build an emergency fund. Like I shared earlier in the video, the lack of insufficient savings contributed to my financial stress. Therefore, establishing an emergency fund to act as a financial safety net was a significant step in relieving my anxiety anytime I think about what will I do if unexpected expenses should arise. Now, since we started building our emergency fund, it has been comforting to know that we have a cushion for unforeseen emergency challenges. To be honest with you guys, we still need to save 3 to 6 months of our living expenses. We're not there yet. Like, our emergency fund is not where we want it to be right now. But we are taking small steps towards establishing an emergency fund, and we are fine with that. And personally, I found peace knowing that I'm building an emergency fund and it's going to be a gradual process. In our budget, we actually estimated that to save for our emergency fund, it will take us 20 months to do that. Now, when it comes to the little money we have saved right now in our emergency fund, my husband and I have actually said that we would only use it for genuine emergencies to ensure we preserve its purpose. So if anybody asks us for money, we don't borrow people money from our emergency fund. So unlike before, that when people ask us for money, we'll take money from our emergency fund and borrow them. We don't do that anymore. If anybody asks us for money, if we don't have any extra cash to borrow the person, we'll just tell the person we can't borrow the person. We don't need to take funds from our emergency fund anymore to borrow anybody or help anybody out, including friends and family. We don't do that. Like, that's our own safety net, because we have realized that over time we used to take money out from our emergency fund to help family and friends. So it's not that we didn't have like an emergency fund before. We did, but we used to borrow people money from our emergency fund, or we used to use it to help family and friends out, which was wrong, because that was what was contributing to my financial stress. Because I used to think that, okay, now that we have used all the money to help people out now, what happens to us if we too we need help? Obviously we don't pray for things like that to happen, but it will be good if we also have a buffer, because it's not everybody you do for that will also do for you. It's not as if people you help are being evil or anything. It's just that they too, they might not have, or they might be going through a difficult time financially that they can't help you financially. So all of this was actually contributing to my financial stress, but now that I've found a solution to it, to be fair, I've been better off. Now, the third thing that helped me when I was financially stressed was having open communication with my friends and family. As the saying goes, a problem shared is a problem halved. After admitting that I was financially stressed, I made a conscious effort to initiate open and honest communication with my husband and family about financial matters. And their supportive reaction has been empowering. Having an open dialogue has given me a sense of control and confidence in managing our finances. And they've been supportive and respectful of my decision on how I want to manage my finance, or the kind of obligation I want to commit to financially. Has given me the sense of I'm not alone. Like, I have support. Like, I'm on the right path towards being free of financial stress. To be fair, the fact that I'm having open communication with my friends and family, my husband, has actually reduced my stress, and it has strengthened our bond as a family, and even strengthened my bond with my friends, and it has made me feel supported. It is a powerful reminder that I'm not alone in my financial journey, and that open communication can be a powerful tool for managing financial stress. Now, one thing my husband and I do regularly is we discuss our finances. It's not always an easy conversation to have. It's a difficult conversation to have at times, but we actually do that. We discuss our budget, we discuss our savings, and we set and reassess our financial goals to see the one we are meeting, the one we need to double down on, the one we need to cut out, and things like that. Likewise, one area I had to address is black tax. Now, black tax is actually a significant issue for many, and openly discussing it with my family has helped me greatly. So for those who might not be familiar with black tax is a term used to describe financial expectations placed on individuals by their extended families. It is a common cause of stress for many people in many cultures, and openly discussing black tax with my family has helped me manage this expectation and reduce financial stress. Now, when it comes to open communication, especially when you're addressing black tax with your extended family, it's good to always be respectful about it, and it's also good to reassure them, let them know that maybe right now you cannot afford to do some things for them because you're going through financial stress and finances are tight for you. But when you're fine, you'll be able to do the things you are meant to do for them financially. Like for me now, I come from a family where there's great financial expectation for me, because over time, my parents especially, they've been supportive financially towards me. Like, I remember when I was coming to study in the UK, my dad actually put up some of his property for sale to help me with my tuition fee. I didn't have to go to bank to borrow money from anyone. My dad supported me, paid for my cost of living, paid for my tuition fee, my flight ticket, everything, he paid for it. And having that kind of a father has made me want to do the same thing for my son. So it's not like my parents expect me to do that for them. No, the expectation is not for my parents. The expectation is on me towards my son. I don't also want my son to have to take loans to go to school or to afford his cost of living and things like that. I want to be able to pay it forward. So those kind of things actually bring stress for people, where you have to do for your family members. Like, for instance, now I have to do for my son. Likewise, I have a younger brother who is studying here in the UK. And all this naira and pounds issue has been crazy. And once in a while, I have to extend financial help towards him, because he's studying. There's a limit to what he can afford financially, and I have to be there for him financially. So all of these things are actually things that could cause you financial stress. So let me just tell you guys something that happened. So there was one time my brother was looking for money for his accommodation, like for his rent. So he reached out to me. I was like, sis, I need this money, please, can you help me? And on a normal day, I'll be like, oh, how much is it? £500. Don't worry, I'll send it to you, pay and forget about it. But this time around, I had to call him and say, see, if I give you this £500, you have to pay me back. He was shocked. I was like, yes, because right now I don't have money and I'm stressing about money, and I need to focus on my financial goals. So I had to explain it to him, and to be fair, he was understanding, and my brother is such a sweetheart. when I gave him the money, like I borrowed him money for his rent, immediately he got paid, he actually sent me my money back. Like I didn't even have to stress about it. He sent my money back. So things like this, you have to like communicate with your family members, because on a norm, he's surprised that my big sister, she'll just send me my rent money. She don't have to collect it back. Like I'm fine. But this time around, I had to collect it back because, you know, I was stressed financially and I needed to stay committed to my financial goals that was causing me this stress. Like I needed to build my emergency fund. I needed to start saving for my indefinite leave to remain. I needed to start putting money aside for my son's tuition fee in the future. So that's like when it comes to open communication, right? You have to be honest about it. You have to be respectful about it. And your family members, trust me, they will be considerate, because to be fair, everyone has been considerate. Even same with my husband. Like after I had conversation with my husband, you know, from my husband's end, he had to manage expectations from his own end, because obviously he has family members, he helps and stuff like that. So he has to understand and respect the fact that yes, my wife wants us to save towards our emergency fund, wants us to save towards our indefinite leave to remain, wants us to save towards our son's university fees. So the things I've been doing for my side of the family, if we have to pause on it for a while or if we have to pick it up later, it's fine, as long as my wife is not stressed financially. Like, do you get? So they have to be that open communication. So it's not as though you are cutting people away. No, it's just that for the meantime you are going through that stress, try to address it and start setting money aside so that you will not feel the way you feel. Now, the fourth thing I did was to educate myself financially. Now, acquiring a deep understanding of financial principles has been a game changer for me. Constantly seeking financial education has empowered me to make more informed decisions about my finances. You know, it has instilled confidence in my ability to navigate personal finance and significantly reduce my stress. For me, staying ahead in the financial game involves more than being aware of the latest trends. It is about actively researching methods of savings accounts, loans, and investment options to find the best fit for my family's financial needs. I have learned about personal finance from books, online courses, seminars that can provide valuable knowledge about managing my money. Now, one platform I would recommend is Humble Penny. They have a YouTube channel. Like, their platform has been so helpful, helping me to navigate my finances. Also, I follow Runke on IG and one other lady on IG. I'll put their page for you guys to see. Their content has been so helpful in helping me navigate my finances. And again, my husband and I are looking to pay our mortgage fast as possible. So the other lady I say I follow, I can't remember her name now. Her content has been so enlightening. And Humble Penny too. When they took out their mortgage in the UK, they actually paid off their mortgage, I think, in 7 years. So they used to share tips and tricks on how they did that. So even before we got our mortgage, I knew that we were going to pay off our mortgage early, because I'd always been watching their content and learning from their tips and tricks. Now, the other lady I was talking about, I said I can't remember her name. Don't worry, I'll put her IG page on the screen so that if you want to go and follow her and check her out. That lady, she's in the US, but her tips and tricks aligns with me a lot. And one thing I like about that lady is that you could tell that the journey to financial freedom is not as how people paint it on Instagram. The journey to financial freedom has to do with a lot of sacrifices. You can't say you want financial freedom and today you are buying Gucci, tomorrow you are buying Louis Vuitton on a minimum wage or on a salary that is not up to 100K. It's not possible. If anybody is doing that, that person is not telling the truth. Like this lady I follow on IG, you can see that for my income, they live modestly, they are contented with what they have. She gives tips and tricks and advice that resonate with me. You know, I'm not on a high income. I just thank God for what I have. My salary and my husband's salary is enough to cover our basic cost of living and help family and friends, and we're contented with that. As time goes on, you know, we can work our way up into maybe getting the 6-figure salary and stuff like that. So right now, we cannot say we want to overpay on our mortgage and be going on vacation and trips. Could they work? If you see me going on vacation and trips and I'm still paying a mortgage and overpaying on our mortgage, I'm doing something I'm not meant to do. Or my salary has times 10 of what I'm earning right now. So that's why I like following these 3 platforms, or like I say, the content they share, because they resonate with me and they work well for me. The fifth thing that's helped me manage my financial stress is using stress reducing techniques. Now, managing the emotional aspect of financial stress is critical for overall well-being. For me, adapting stress relieving techniques such as avoiding social media, practicing mindfulness, engaging in physical activities brings me a sense of relief and lightness. As a Bible-believing Christian, I find praying about my finances helped me stay grounded and reduce anxiety. Like when I find myself thinking about money excessively, I just listen to music or I watch a movie to improve my mood and decrease stress. Lastly, I've realized that maintaining a healthy lifestyle is not just a cliche but a powerful stress management tool. Now, one thing I've started doing is having proper nutrition. Like in the morning, I used to have chia seed pudding and fruits. I used to go on walks and I used to try to have sufficient sleep and not press my phone before I go to bed or scroll excessively on social media, just to keep me in tune with my body, and this helps me manage stress effectively. In conclusion, trying to avoid financial stress or going through financial stress in itself can be daunting. But taking deliberate steps to assess my situation, create a realistic budget, and build a financial safety net has helped me effectively manage my finances, regain control, and reduce the anxiety I have about finance. Now, if you're struggling financially, remember that seeking professional help is okay. Whether from a financial advisor, counselor, or a therapist, reaching out is a sign of strength and not weakness. Like asking for help from your friends and family is a sign of strength and not weakness. Don't be ashamed, don't be shy, reach out for help. And also remember to address the emotional aspect of the stress through communication and self-care. I hope that the strategies I have shared in this video will help you achieve a more stable and stress-free financial life. With this, we've come to the end of the video. Bye for now and thanks for watching.